So what are you looking toward in the future, personally and globally?
I've been doing a lot with taking a look at what's found that's similar in all art globally, because I feel that what humanity consistently creates in art is really reinforcing deep spiritual processes. And so what I've found is that there are 5 shapes that are found consistently in all art globally. And one is the circle, and the other is the cross, like the plus sign, the equidistant cross, and the triangle, and the square, and the spiral. And and you can see them all here in Prague, everywhere you look. I mean, and all the decor are those shapes repeated over and over and over again. So I began to look cross-culturally to see if cultures attributed the same meaning to those shapes, and found that 92% of all the cultures attribute the same meaning to the circle, which is the process of individuation, or to the cross, relatedness, and interconnection and interface, and the square, stability and foundation setting, and
So does this imply a genetic syntax of form or something like that?
I think that it's part of the archaic revival, in that there would be a deeply cellular imprinting of some kind.
Well, that's what I mean by genetic.
Yeah, I really do. Or the triangle being the visionary or searching, seeking, questing process, or the planning, dreaming process, and the spiral being the need for variety, or the need for change, or growth and evolution. So it's been really wonderful. It's part of a new book that's coming out called Signs of Life, and showing how those images come up in all of the continents and are also found in literature, poetry, and put all that together in one place.
So do you spend much time thinking about the future?
I do.
What's your take on?
I think that it's exciting for me to think that we're being called in the next 50 years to our own creative fire, that we all have salvation myths and we all have doomsday myths, but there's a whole body of myths in mythology that have been totally overlooked that I think we're being called to, which are creation myths. And what are the creation myths but stories about how to build new worlds internally and externally? And I think that for 2,000 years we've done the polarity dance, and we're moving into a both-and world rather than an either-or world. And I'm excited about the future, that if we can really move into the wisdom of the planet kingdom, and if we can move into the deep wisdom of nature as a mirror of our own nature, that and remember our creative fire, I think it will be a wonderful time in history. I'm so glad I was born at the time I was born, to be a part of this evolutionary renaissance.
How do you see it happening? I mean, do you see a breakthrough with technology, or an abandonment of technology? Do you see pharmacological engineering? Do you see new religions? Do you see... In other words, it's easy to hope, but very hard to get the details in focus.
Yeah, I think that what I see is that there'll be both the bridging of the natural and the technological.
So a more cellular technology, a more organic infrastructure.
For sure. And I think that computers are here to teach us about those organic structures. I think that we're learning different kinds of systems to really see what are the inherent systems in nature and within our own nature.
So to the degree that we can mirror nature, we can re-spiritualize, re-humanize technology and interpersonal relations.
Which would be
well,
wonderful.
I come right down the line on that.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds, and to me, psychedelics are just simply the best catalyst, but anything which works should be pushed to the limit.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't know, I was just thinking that somehow we've got to think about possibilities. I was thinking about in the Rosicrucian era, which is very close here to Prague, is that they would often say you can count the seeds in an apple, but you can't count the apples in a seed. And I think we're moving in that era where we really, think of the possibilities and the seeds that we have been planting, or the fact that computers are teaching us about instant feedback or instant response and acknowledgement, and that the power of acknowledgement and feedback to allow organisms to grow. And that's why children are, in many ways, know that instinctively, that they're mesmerized by, that they can get a yes or no or go back or fatal error or whatever it might be.
Well, it's a kind of explicit hardwiring of our own unconscious.
Yeah.
No more do we create cultural artifacts that are simply our furniture, but now our thoughts, our values are embodied in this stuff. Yeah, it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
Yeah,
it's
it really
very exciting. I envision a future world where people are nomadic, aboriginal, physically perfect, living basically naked. But if you were inside one of these people's minds, you would see that when they close their eyes, there are menus hanging in space. That the culture has been shrunk down to something rather like a contact lens, which is in the forefront of their eyelid, and they look into culture by closing their eyes. And when they open their eyes, nature in her radiance is all around.
Yeah.